What if I told you stream clips are one of the easiest and best ways to grow your stream? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you why they are the easiest and the best, how to make them, where to put them, and I've even got a free download for y'all to make creating clips easier and more professional. This video is also sponsored by Hover, but we'll talk more about that later. So first off, how do clips get you viewers easy and fast? Well, they're a really easy way for you to diversify across multiple platforms without you having to create 10 or 15-minute long videos in order to do that. Instead, you create a really short 30-second or 60-second clip. You can post it in lots of different places, and it has this huge added benefit of showing people that you actually stream, because what a lot of us do is we assume everybody knows that we stream when that isn't the case. If somebody sees a clip of your stream, they're way more likely to understand what you do and to come into your channel and check you out. But if they never see that clip, then they might not even know that you're a streamer. So it's really important that you have short clips in order to help yourself more easily diversify across multiple platforms and let people on all those platforms know that you stream. But what should you make? Right? Well, short clips aren't any different from longer style of content. It still has to be super valuable, but you've got to do it in a much shorter time span. I actually created a YouTube video that is all about value and how you can put more value into your content. So go and watch this if you haven't already, but let me give you a few ideas for now. Your first option is to make your clips educational. Teach them how to aim in Valorant, how to loop in Dead by Daylight, or how to set up the Elgato face cam, or give them access. Interview a super popular streamer in your niche, show them what your life is like behind the scenes of all the content that you create, or take them to a convention since everyone is stuck inside right now and we're all bored. There are so many different content ideas, so definitely go and check out that video for more. The content itself is really popular, but so is the way that you create these clips and how you edit them to be really interesting. There is a huge difference between just taking a clip from your stream that's super long and maybe not interesting for the entire minute versus editing your clip down to be really interesting and punchy and impactful. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring in my editor to show y'all how it's done.
Oi, 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 YouTube. My name's Dylan. I am Ash's partner and editor. Today, we're going to give you the basics of how to pump up your clips a little bit and make them a little bit more viewable, make them have a little bit more reach, help them to really bring people back to you and make them entertaining. So we're going to be diving into Adobe Premiere Pro, and we're going to try to take it start to finish. Now, we are going to start off with a Twitch highlight. Now, you could do Twitch clips or highlights. I decided to go back and highlight my clip so I can get a little bit more context for what's going on in the clip. If you do have a Twitch clip, it does say AT-CM. Your highlights are these long strings of characters. So these are clips. This is a highlight. Now you can click and drag and drop it into the sequence. Now this will create your sequence for you. You don't need to do anything too fancy. If this is a 60 FPS 1080p video, then the sequence is going to be 60 FPS 1080. There's nothing crazy there. It's just easier that you don't set up your own sequence and you drop the clip in. That way it sets everything up to match the footage so that you don't have like a 30 frames per second sequence in a 60 FPS video, or vice versa, etc. So now in this clip, we're going to go ahead and you can drag your playhead through and scrub. And the whole point of this clip, is to build up to the climax of the sort of like being like I get jump scared in Dead by Daylight. So we'll take a look here. All right, so that's the whole class. Everything that happens leads up to that. So that's the point, is just to be something sort of relatable, something sort of funny. So we're going in with that concept in mind. Now, as you go through, you can click and drag the edges of any clip or video to shrink them or make them larger. The other thing you can also do is hold Alt and use your scroll wheel to zoom in or zoom out. And this is going to save you so much time, I promise you. You just can scroll in and out. And then without holding Alt, that allows you to scroll side to side. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in, and we're really trying to cut. This is a fairly short clip, but you have to remember the attention span of people on social media is very short, very, very slow. So we need to be sure that this catches their eye and that there's a payoff within, in my opinion, like 5 to 10 seconds. If there's not like sort of monumental builds, there needs to be like a fast payoff. So we're going to try to trim the fat here a little bit. If you hit the C button on your keyboard, this is all on Windows, of course, hit the C button and you'll get the cut tool. The cut tool allows you to make incisions, and then these become their own separate clips that you can move around or delete or whatever. Now keep in mind, after you make the cut with the C tool, you can hit V and it'll switch you back to the arrow. So no matter what key you hit on your keyboard, if you hit V, it'll send you back to the arrow where you could just click and drag. So it's like back to home, back to basics. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just cut this up to here. Again, we're just trying to shave time that's not necessary, all right? Like the context can generally sort of be inferred a lot. So we do get jump scared. So we're gonna go ahead and actually cut this because I think the perfectly timed scream is a lot funnier. So it just cuts right there. All right, so I like that. Let's see what the flow is. So I think that's perfect. Like I don't, you know, it's not the most exciting clip, but there's a lot there. 15 seconds in, out, the payoff. Now we need to be sure it's the format. So in my opinion, this would go on like YouTube Shorts or TikTok, which are tall videos, right? So that's where we're gonna change the format. So we'll go to sequence settings, and this is 1920 wide by 1080 tall, which means it's wider than it is tall. To change this and make it phone format, it's super simple. Just swap the numbers. So instead of 1920 by 1080, we'll do 1080 by 1920. It's gonna ask you this pop-up. It doesn't, it just hit okay, it's all right. Before we go in and do a lot of like crazy stuff, we're gonna go ahead and move our video around a little bit. So we're gonna click on our first clip. And anytime you click on a clip, this tab shows up on the left. Now this is the tab that has all of the effects that are applied to that clip. I hope that makes sense, right? So if we add a bunch of stuff to this clip, it'll all be here. But if we click off that clip, the next clip won't have all those effects, right? Does that make sense? So we'll go here to our first clip, and this is the motion. Anytime you change the scale or the position, it's gonna be under the motion tab. We're gonna be changing the position down a little bit. We're just gonna move it down. Keep in mind on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, this bottom area right here is gonna have like a lot of text or like a lot of hashtags or a lot of ats, or the sound. If it's on TikTok, it'll have like the sound that's playing. You'll have all the buttons on the screen, stuff like that. So you don't wanna go ahead and move this all the way down. I don't think that makes any sense. It obscures all of your content, right? So you wanna have a good healthy of that bottom section sort of open to have all that garbage on it without like your content being obstructed. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this clip and I'll hit Control-C. Alternatively, you can right click and you could hit copy. Doesn't matter. Now, what you could do is highlight all the other clips in the timeline and right click, go up to Paste Attributes, and be sure that motion is highlighted, and then turn off Scale Attribution Times. Now, what this means is that all the position or scaling changes that you made to the first clip, you've copied those and you're gonna apply those to the next clips. Everything now, we move the first clip down and then we adjusted everything to be at the exact same size. Super clean, really easy. Now you may say, your face isn't on the screen. Why is your face cam not on the screen? We have a solution for that, okay? What you wanna do now is I'm gonna take, and you can hit Control-C, or you can hold Alt, click on a clip and then drag. And if you do that, you duplicate the clip. That simple, nothing too hard to it. Now, this clip, we're actually gonna move pretty differently. You can see there's two clips here, right? Makes sense. There's 2 layers. And we're gonna line this clip up so that our face cam is quite a bit bigger and a little bit more like on screen. Obviously, if you're trying to promote your stream, if you have a VTuber, you have a face cam, whatever, you want that to be visible, right? That would make sense, I think. So we're gonna go ahead and put it where I would wanna put it on the screen. So we're going to put it in the very tip top of the screen. That way we're not jumping back and forth or anything of that nature. All right, so we've kind of got it where I think I want it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to this opacity tab. Now it says FX opacity. At this point, we're going to go ahead and click the square button. Now this is a mask. When you click this, yes, stuff will just leave your screen, right? What we just saw. But if you click this little box, you'll see this box come up. Just where the hand shows up, click that box and just drag. Now you'll notice this is a mask. For those of you uninitiated, a mask basically omits everything outside or within the box. Okay, so we're gonna use this mask. We're gonna click and drag it over my face camera. Now, obviously it's not perfect. My entire camera's not fitting in there. So what you could do is hover your mouse over the corner. I always do the bottom right. It almost makes sense. But where you see the 2 arrows right here, they have to be not here, but right here. And then if you hold shift, you'll see they move to being diagonal arrows. if you hold shift and click here, you get to kind of expand the mask evenly, right? Without messing up any of the path, if you will, okay? Keep in mind, if you have like a circular face cam or something of that nature, you could always hit the ellipses mask on the left instead of a square. If you have a triangular or a octagonal something or another, then you can go ahead and you can do a lot of stuff with this. Now, keep in mind, you could also just click and drag these corners and do whatever you want with them. You can add points and things of that nature to do whatever you want with it. Now, at this point, we'll click off and we'll see it's not too bad. But we're going to go ahead and go to our mask section over here. We're going to turn the mask feather up a little bit. And what that's going to do is that's going to soften the edge. Now, you can see as I go over here and turn the feather up, you can see like the opacity in some section actually goes way down. This is without the feather. You can see the hard edge here, and this is with a bit of a feather. And it kind of blends it, just makes it a little bit easier on the eyes. Now what you can do is highlight all the clips, and what we're gonna do is put our face cam over all of those. So again, you'll highlight everything, you'll hold Alt, you'll click and drag, and you've duplicated every clip. Pretty simple, huh? We're gonna go ahead and go to this clip, hit right click and copy, or just Control C. And we're gonna highlight the newest, addition, this top layer. We're gonna right click and hit paste attributes. Now, when it comes to paste attributes, you're gonna wanna paste the motion. Do not scale attribute times, okay? Now you can see our camera's over it, but we don't have the mask, right? Like the gameplay underneath is omitted by the corner. So we do have to apply the mask. Now, it took me a while to figure this out. I don't know how I figured it out, but if you go to the original clip that has the mask, right? So you go to the opacity tab, click on the mask section, and then Control C, or you can right click and hit copy. Now, if you go to the next clip, you see how this still has its corner. Click on the FX opacity line, and then Control V, and suddenly it applies the mask. So you'll go through to every clip, FX opacity, Control V. FX opacity, Control V. Click the next one. Now, lastly, we're going to highlight everything and just move it up one row. So we have, the things on the top row, which is our face cam, the things on the bottom row, which is the gameplay. We're going to highlight everything that's on the bottom row, Alt, click, drag. So we're going to go to the bottom layer, right? And we're going to just click on that and then scale. So FX motion scale and scale it up. Now, the entire idea here is to get rid of this black. This black's a little ugly. It just doesn't look good. The screen feels empty when you watch a clip like this. You're like, okay, this doesn't feel right. So I like to take the scale and I'll do like 200. Now, go to your effects tab, which should be in the bottom left for most people, effects. And you could just type blur in the effects panel and you'll find the Gaussian blur, which is what I like. You'll click it, drag it, drop it. So we have over here, Gaussian blur. We have the blurriness, which is just a numeric value. So we're gonna just click on that and move our mouse to the right, and that will blur that background, as you can see. Now, I like to blur it a significant amount, but I like it to be recognizable. I like people to see the sort of mirror between the middle layer and so we just blur it to, I chose 40, you could do whatever you'd like. Now, in some cases, I will also type saturation into our effects tab, or you can do color correction. And this is a little bit, probably more than you need, but I do lumetri color, and I'll just drag and drop that. So what you'll do is you'll go to the basic correction, right? You'll click the drop down. It's like there's drop downs nested in drop downs, but if you click the drop down and just keep going down past exposure, contrast, highlight, shadow, you see reset auto. And then you go to saturation, and that's what I like to do. So I do saturation, and I'll do like saturation like 50%, something like that, maybe, right? That way it's not like competing with the actual image I want people to see, all right? And we'll hit right click on that clip and copy. We'll highlight all the bottom layers because we want everything under that middle layer to get all of these effects. Now we're gonna select everything, and then we're going to hit paste attributes. Now we do want to select motion because we did scale the background up significantly. And then the lumetri color, so the saturation reduction, and the Gaussian blur we want applied. And now if you go through, you should see all of those things applied to each section of the clip, okay? And that looks way softer on the eyes. All right. Last but not least, we do have captions. The important thing about clips is that people can watch them without really hearing it, right? How many people scroll Twitter at 4 a.m. and their partner's sleeping or whatever, or they're in the break room at work and they don't want to be awkward listening to something. So what we want to do is add captions that entice people to watch even when sound is off. It's really, really important. That being said, you could tell in this particular clip, there's not a lot of actual talking, but that's where you describe the things on screen. You poke fun at yourself, and you kind of draw attention to certain aspects of the video by using captions, which I think is like really a powerful thing you could do. So the first thing we're going to do on Adobe Premiere Pro 2021 is there's a captions button in the upper, sort of just like dead center almost, right above your video. All right, if you click on that, you can go to the text panel on the left. Now you can do transcribe sequence, but we're going to be adding a lot of flavor text that doesn't have it, like it won't transcribe anything, but if you want to try that out, it's a great tool that has just recently been added. We're going to create a new caption track though. All right, and we're just going to go format, subtitle. I wouldn't worry about anything else. And then once you're here, you'll see this big sort of black box that seems like there's nothing to do. You'll actually hit the plus right here, and that'll add a new caption segment. Now you can see there's a new row right here, and it actually has a new layer, and that layer can't be dragged outside of that row. So that keeps everything nice and clean and separate on your timeline. On the right-hand panel over here, you'll see all of the things that you can click on to change the position of your captions, all right? All right, so I think this is a moment where I like to do like, so in this case, I'm going to shrink it up because at this moment, I see Victor, I turn around, I go, oh no. So I think we could do like an expletive or something goofy there. So I'm going to alt click and drag, create another caption layer, and then we can retype. And be careful on places like TikTok and things like that. Captions that have expletives sometimes get you in trouble. So, and I think I'm going to make these lowercase so that when we do have the expletives, it's like a little bit more dramatic, I think. And now for these, sometimes using captions to really like leverage a moment and make it bigger than normal can kind of be to your advantage. So we'll do something like this. So we'll just make them bigger, and then we'll make it just a short flash on screen. Don't want it to like overstay its welcome. So we're going to go ahead and alt drag from the first one because it has like the original font size that we're going to sort of try to maintain. I'm okay with having 2 layers there, so we'll go ahead and do that. So here's what we have so far. Looking for Victor. And we'll expand that a little bit. And you don't, in my opinion, you don't want your captions to like be, if there's a jump cut, you want your captions to go away when the jump cut happens. So, okay, so I actually talk here.
Now she has to commit to me.
And I'll remove the captions off screen as soon as I can. We don't want them to be like cluttersome, so.
Now she has to commit to me.
So we'll do ... or not ... right? Just like a subtle mumble almost, right?
Commit to me. Or not.
And or not came and went pretty fast. And I do scream here. So we're just going to sometimes just goofy automatopoeias. We could do fear howl. There we go. Just weird automatopoeia stuff.
Now she has to commit to me.
Or not. All right, I think that's kind of the perfect sort of clip, if you will. I mean, it's not the most funny, it's not the most badass thing in the world, but you're gonna want to export this now. This is a 15-second clip, so you'll hit File, and you'll want to hit Export Media. Your format, in my opinion, this is everything I've learned. I'm not the expert here, but your format's going to be H.264. Going outside of that can create problems that really you won't benefit from creating. So I do, at the preset, I'll do YouTube 1080p Full HD. Now what you'll realize is this makes it 1920 by 1080. Fear not, we'll just reset those values. So again, you switch the numbers, 1080 by, and we'll unlink those by 1920. Boom. All right, now you want to be sure that everything sort of lines up, right? So you'll want to be sure it's 60 FPS. I do render at maximum depth. It really isn't going to do anything. Your output name is really important. I have 1,000 places I can send this, but I have a whole folder of finished videos that I've made. So this will just be fear howl clip. And then I like to put like where I'm putting it. So we'll put like Twitter and just save. You could do hardware encoding or software encoding. I prefer software. There's less artifacting, but it's usually not super noticeable. Then you'll go down to the bitrate settings. This is like one of the most important things ever, in my opinion. The higher the bitrate, the clearer the video is going to be to a degree. So generally for a clip like this, because it's already from a Twitch stream, it's just not going to be like ultra HD. But YouTube recommends about a 16 bitrate. Right? And that's the target that you want the video to hit, right? So you want it to be at 16. YouTube recommends 16. Now you'll notice the higher the bit rate, the bigger the file size. For actual YouTube videos, this can get into gigabytes of data. But we're gonna go to like, sometimes I push it, I go to 17, but you can have the maximum bit rate, right? So this is when the video requires it, when there's high motion and things of that rate. This is the maximum bit rate that you want it to try to hit. We always throw that to 50. We just throw that dump truck right up there. And then I use maximum render quality just to get it as good as I can. And then you just hit export. Even if you have a pretty mediocre PC, this shouldn't take a long time for you, right? So we're exporting this, and then this will be good to go on your sort of platform of choosing, depending on where you want to go. And there you have it. I mean, that's basically how you're going to try to do this. Obviously, you could use better clips, better videos, funnier moments, sicker moments. I do a lot of educational content, right? So I can take a lot of moments from stream, clip them down and be like, this is how you do XYZ in Dead by Daylight. And obviously, as you guys can see, I've done a lot of YouTube shorts that are educational, and taking really this short form content and making it something great is something you can absolutely do. You can do crazier transitions, bigger things. Let me know if you have comments or questions in the comment section down below. We're going to pass it back off to Ashney though, so we can keep telling you guys about how to make these clips work for you.
Here are some more tips for editing your clips. Make sure they're interesting without sound and include captions. Make sure they're formatted for each platform. Use quick cuts and zoom into reactions. And if you're not an editor, you can also use Streamladder. So Streamladder is a really easy way for you to take literally something from your stream and turn it into a 9:16 clip for other social sites, but Streamladder can't do edits for you, so you need to make sure that the clip itself is good on its own. However, it's really great if the content is already good. Now, where do you post these clips? Well, I'm going to recommend IG Reels / IGTV, YouTube Shorts, of course, TikTok, and Hover. Hover is basically TikTok for gamers, so you can take any gaming clip, upload to Hover, and get in front of new potential viewers. They also do competitions from time to time where you can compete to win prizes like cash, which is pretty sick. So thanks so much to Hover for sponsoring this video. Y'all can check them out with the link down below. Let's talk about how to optimize for each platform, starting with Instagram. So the reason that I said you want to use Instagram Reels or Instagram TV is because currently Instagram Reels is only going to accept videos up to 30 seconds in length, and Instagram TV is only going to accept videos over 1 minute. This means that if your clip is between 30 seconds and a minute, that you don't really have anywhere on Instagram to post the clip. So you have to be very intentional with the length of your clips. You either have to edit them so that they're longer than 60 seconds, it can be 1 minute and 1 second, or you have to make sure that they are under 30 seconds. After you've got the timing down, all you have to do is make sure that you include a really awesome caption with up to 30 searchable hashtags. Make sure the Instagram hashtags that you choose don't have like billions of views. If the hashtag does have a ton of views, that means that you will probably get drowned out versus everybody else and your clip won't be discovered. So search for hashtags that have less than like 2 to 3 million views and use 30 of those. That's going to end up helping you be found more than one that has billions of views. Next is YouTube Shorts. So I tried YouTube Shorts out on this YouTube channel and it didn't actually work out really well for me. But YouTube is putting so much time and effort into growing out the YouTube Shorts feature on the platform. So if you're not using this, and especially if you're a small channel, you should be using YouTube Shorts. Not to mention, tons of our students inside of Stream Coach Academy have had incredible luck with YouTube Shorts. In order to optimize for YouTube Shorts, it's really simple. The video has to be 59 seconds or less. You don't have to include hashtag shorts in the title or anything like that. YouTube will categorize it automatically as a YouTube short. But do make sure that you create a really clickable title and thumbnail, just like you would with any YouTube video. And of course, make the description awesome as well. Optimizing for TikTok is pretty easy as well. Keep in mind, we want this process to be super simple for you. So while TikTok does give you the option of uploading videos up to 3 minutes long, you basically want to take the same content that you're throwing up on Instagram and YouTube and Hover and post it to TikTok as well. So you don't really want to make a 3-minute long video unless your intention is only to post that specific video on TikTok, which is totally fine, but it's going to be easier for you if you operate within that 60-second area. So in order to upload to TikTok, all you have to do is have this 60-second clip, include 5 hashtags, again, that aren't super popular. And if you want, you can do something that I've been experimenting with lately, which is promoting your TikTok videos. So from time to time, I'll actually pay a little bit to promote my videos on TikTok because it has led to just absolutely incredible results for me. I'll pay like $20 to promote a video for 2 days. And what ends up happening is I can either tell TikTok to get me more views on the video, in which case they'll show it to more people, or to get me follows from the video, in which case they'll show it to a specific type of person that is more likely to follow me. This has been absolutely explosive for my TikTok account, and honestly, I recommend all of y'all do it if you have the ability. And then of course, optimizing for hover. So optimizing for hover is pretty similar to optimizing for TikTok. You just want to make sure you include some hashtags, include a great description, and make sure that people know that the clips are either from your stream or that you do stream. Which, speaking of, this is how you're going to get traffic from those clips on all these different platforms back to Twitch. You can either mention your stream and your schedule in the actual content of that clip itself, or if you want, you can use this thing that I made for y'all, which is just a couple of different animated pop-ups that will help you tell people where your stream is and when you go live, so that way they know that you are a streamer and that they can come and hang out with you. They're super easy. If you want links for these, those are down below. And something really important that you need to know whenever it comes to getting traffic from these clips back to your Twitch is the marketing rule of 7. So the rule of 7 was actually created in the 30s, back when people only saw like 500 ads a day. And the idea was that people had to see an ad 7 or 8 times before they would finally take action on it. However, this isn't the 30s anymore, and we're seeing 5,000 ads a day now, not 500, which means that if you want people to come into your stream, they have to see you a lot more now. This means consistency with these clips is huge. Make sure that you're creating them and you're uploading them a few times a week. If you want to get more traffic to the clips themselves, utilize your community. Have clip competitions and just make the entire experience fun for the people who are already in your space. You can make a section for the clips in your own Discord server, and of course make sure to thank people and show your appreciation when they do actually create a clip from your stream. If you don't have people there to clip a moment for you, you can also make a clip button on your stream deck where you just push the button and then you get a clip of the last minute and a half or so. Ooh, y'all, that was a long one, but I really hope it helped. Don't forget all those links down below. And of course, you want to grow your stream. So go and check out this video, which is going to help you do that. I love y'all so much. I'll see you over in that one. Bye.